Welcome back, my kindred, to Canada by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade live play podcast. With their plan to kill the Anarchs and Tatters, Val could not break free of Amy's control, even as her former coterie stabbed Cross with silver daggers. Fortuitously, Cross had planned for the worst, and officers Marcus Safe and Elizabeth Maddox barged in with silver bullets and brought Amy down. Val and Vincent's beasts faced off in a brutal brawl, but once again, Cross came to the rescue. Before Val succumbed to her injuries, Cross fed her his own blood. But will Val survive the Camarilla's justice? Find out now as he returns to the world of darkness.
Val, having drank the blood of Sheriff Cross again, having been reborn into vampire life, you find yourself waking up 24 hours later, having been in and out of a daze. Not dead, not asleep. You can't do that. But drifting in and out at the hazy edge of consciousness. You remember yourself being pulled away from the scene. You find yourself inside a hospital, confusingly. A place you have never really been in mortal life, but you have heard about.
Yes.
Maybe seen the inside of when punching Piotr Giovanni or other people in the Vincent experience. Just some dark nights with your previous coterie. But you find yourself in a bed with a drip feed of multiple bags of blood. Where you've got not just an IV in one arm, but you have one in both arms and both legs. And your body is slowly recovering from the extreme damage you have suffered from the combats that have occurred. And when you find yourself coming fully back to yourself, you see that Rufus Cross is sitting in a chair next to your gurney. He's reading a book.
Val's blinking awake, looking down at her body. The last sensations she felt were, I think, her arm bones piercing into her torso.
Some of that.
Definitely not how it would have probably felt if she was a person, but still not a great sensation.
Yeah, towards the end, definitely starting to reach a human level of pain. But that is so much less now. As you look down, you can see that things are back in place. There are no longer bones where bones should not be.
Great.
The bones may be broken. The bones may be uncomfortable. There may be gaps you can feel inside yourself where the bone was pulled back, but it's all closing up.
It looks more like body-shaped now.
Correct.
Than inside-out person.
Yes. You would say if you're looking at your health tracker, you would have one healed point. All the rest would be aggravated. You don't need to track that necessarily right now. It's just for role play purposes.
Great. So Val will see Rufus Cross sitting next to her and just, Boss Cross, did you get him?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you saw. I cut his head in half. He's dead as shit.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, indeed.
Are you okay?
I mean, I've been better, but you're completely fucked. I only took 2, so give me another day. I'll be fine. I'm up and moving around.
Okay. I'm sorry I didn't know that I wouldn't have been able to hurt him.
I didn't know either. Nobody knew that. I mean, you did everything you could do. That's really all anybody can ask for. I want to be here when you wake up in case you have any questions, because I've realized I have no idea what you know or do not know about being a vampire. I don't think you even necessarily know what you do or do not know.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There's a lot I don't know, I guess. They showed me a book with photos of 25 Calgary vampires, but I'd not seen any of them.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you know a whole lot of vampires. I've claimed that book for evidence, and
good.
Yeah, one of the first jobs we're gonna have to sort out is eliminating everyone who took those pictures, because it weren't your crazies. They couldn't hide out around town to get that done. So that's the first thing on my to-do list after all this. But
right, well, they pretty often used humans to do chores for them and send them on tasks, so it could be anybody.
Could be, but that'd mean that they'd need to know where that person needed to go to get the picture, which means somebody talked.
Oh, okay.
This is kind of what I do. A lot of this is cleanup from people figuring out what's happening here. But, yeah.
And what about me? Are you in trouble or?
Well, I mean, once you're done, you're going to have to go, meet the princess, and you're going to have to get approved. What I told everybody is that I made you now. So Last couple of years, nobody knows. One of the reasons Cross's Jim ain't on this earth anymore.
Right. Okay. Do I need a story of how or why?
Well, normally I would have just tried to dodge you being mine altogether, but you found them, they found you. There's some use here. You got some skills. There's a way I can sell it. I was hoping to be able to avoid it, but Cleopatra's got this new court seer. Seems like she's full of shit. Her name's Doris. I don't know what the fuck she's got going on, but she can lick people's blood and figure out where they're from or whatever. So, yeah, I had to have made you. You'll just make your peace. What you got to explain why you want to be a vampire. You got to explain who you are. You got to say all that, and then at the end, she'll kind of thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah. Why did you?
Seemed like the right thing to do.
Okay.
Wait, do you mean in the fake story or in real life?
I meant, really, if it would be so bad for you.
I mean, you're at my gym. You'd ended up trying to protect my things, which is completely insane. And you weren't going to die for that.
Okay. Thanks for answering. I don't know. I don't know what all I want to know right now. I just...
Fair enough. Some stuff I can hopefully take off your plate in terms of long-term concerns. That quintuple homicide outside Calgary. As you can see, I know they've been after you. You may have recognized Marcus Safe, the officer that you confronted in the woods, then broke up his hands, something fucking fierce. I used some Camarilla pull to kind of, shall we say, take the heat off of that, help Marcus with his hands, get things taken care of. There's been a number of bodies even the Camarilla can't cover. So Marcus now, with everything that's going on, he's got fingerprints. He's got DNA samples. He can say that he took care of the people doing these atrocious acts across Canada. The case is going to be so bad, the media is going to want to fucking go crazy. So the government's going to cover it up, and anybody who worked the case is going to have to retire. So congratulations to Marcus Safe. He worked 4 more years. Now he's done. He's going to get a golden parachute. He's going to get the fuck out of the game, the fuck out of the country, and he's going to have a pass with the Camarilla wherever the fuck he goes. So he's done. No more legal shit for you. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody's looking for you.
Thanks. I'm sorry.
I mean, the one you did, a couple of fucking scumbags, you didn't kill the gas station attendant. I'm good. That gets passed by me. I'd have covered it up faster if I'd have known it was happening. I wasn't expecting you to go do a murder frenzy 90 minutes after you left town, but did what you got to do. The rest of them, I mean, I can't imagine what the last 4 years have done to you.
Val sitting quietly with that, just of like, she doesn't know either. For her, it was all just like this 5-year fever dream of just chasing blood and acting out, basically. You know, a little bit.
Val's rebellious teenage years.
That's right.
Yeah.
As seen through her very specific lens on those teenage years.
Yeah.
We'll just say, well, tomorrow you're going to be banged up, but we're going to have to take you to see the princess. And then after that, we'll start teaching you the ways of the Camarilla. Seems like you got a gift for hurting people now. And I think, listen, I'd like to free you from that if I could. If I could, I'd like to set you up so you could be whoever you want to be. You could be whatever you want to be. But you came back under these circumstances, and you got a shady as hell past, which means we're going to need to make sure that anybody who's thinking of looking into your past or trying to find weaknesses about you is very, very afraid and knows the cost of doing so.
Okay. What do I need to do for that?
You're going to have to keep doing fucking hardcore shit. When there's a mess, you're going to have to be the one to help clean it up. When there's a problem, you're going to have to be the one to help put it down. you're going to have to work for and with me. I don't know what you know about sheriffs. You may have heard a lot of sheriffs tend to build themselves fucking kill squad of people who are blood bonded to them, who are their own children, any of that kind of thing. That ain't how I do what I do. But we might need to make it seem like that's a little bit how I'm doing what I do with you. Because then people understand politically why I did this. They'll see a vampire reason for me to have made you instead of a me reason.
Okay. Well, honestly, Mr. Cross, that's all I know how to do anyway.
Well, ain't that depressing. All right. Any other questions before I'll leave you with, I guess, a television and we'll walk you to Cleopatra tomorrow?
No. But I want to learn from you.
Well, good. Because that's got to happen one way or another. So I'll be back. I paid for the fucking television there. It'll run whatever channels this place has. I don't even know if it's color, but it's a hospital. We get what we get. We got a nurse on staff. You'll get a shitload of blood. That ain't a problem. So just don't move around too much. Watch whatever's on this fucking shit box, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right. And he gets up and awkwardly leaves.
This is so weird. Everything about this is so weird. It's she didn't want to run with the crazy people anymore, and it had gone too far, but this feels so much more like real life in a way that now she's uncomfortable with. How do I even interact or talk to people? I don't even know anymore.
Mm-hmm. So you
can't move anyway.
Yeah, you got the rest of the day spent in this bed. Are there any other thoughts that end up kind of running through Val's mind in this moment of, for the first time in 5 years, not having the constant attention of Vincent and Amy?
Yeah, the silence is deafening, and just thinking back on the fight and the way that all felt, and that connection with the beast, and thinking she was going to die again. So it does feel like this fresh start of, okay, what am I going to do now? But then also knowing the past will hang over her, as far as even thinking that, like, it can't be disclosed to anyone. It will blow back on me and Mr. Cross.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So your blood bags get changed. You keep absorbing it. Your body keeps very slowly healing, way slower than you've ever experienced before, because you've never been injured in this kind of aggravated, continual way. You've kind of taken a knife or a bullet or something like that, and only at the beginning of a skirmish before either you've immediately killed someone, or Amy's controlled their mind, or Vincent's killed them, or all three at the same time. Just however you want to combo those thoughts, just comboed. And you find yourself falling into the nothing that is the daytime yet again, until you wake up that little bit stronger. You feel a massive draw of blood as you come back into consciousness. Your body somehow internally speed feeds and absorbs the entirety of all the bags plugged into itself, and you heal another point of aggravated damage.
She's still looking not great, but better than before.
Yep, and that's when you hear a knock on your door. And you look over to the door of your room and you see a young-ish looking vampire, mid-20s. He's kind of got a generic, average-looking, messy brown hair, 5'10". Like if you were to draw an average white guy leaning against a door, that's the vibe you would get here. He's got a little bit of a suit vibe, but under the suit is just a stylish kind of multicolored T-shirt, and he's leaning against the door. Okay, I think I'm supposed to pick you up for a ride. You look like a mess. You want to get dressed?
Val is looking at this vampire like, what? Because in Val's mind, the vampires that she's encountered are the crazy Sabat, the guy with tattoos, her insane anarch grunge punk friends who just liked blood and bodies all the time. The monsters that her dad told her about, which sounds like they lived in the woods and attacked people. So just a person walking up is like, what? Like in her mind, she is feeling also like maybe Rufus Cross was more the exception. Like obviously he can throw down. He doesn't have to look as spooky, but seeing just a normal dude walking in is You're gonna drive me.
Yeah. Then he just closes the door. He's like, yeah, I got to take you to see the princess and the sheriff. Apparently you're new, so you're going to have to get cleared to stay around and all that kind of jazz.
Right. You're a vampire.
You're blunt. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm also named Alex. I'm Alex Saunders, and you are?
Val Miller.
Nice to meet you, Val Miller. Right now, you're wearing a hospital gown. I don't think you want to wear that to meet the princess, though if you do, it's a hell of a statement. So what are you looking, you want to change?
Yeah, clothes, sure.
Great. What kind of clothes do you want? Because what you were wearing kind of had the shit stabbed out of it and it was full of blood and bullet holes, so it didn't make it to this building. I don't have that anymore.
What do you fucking have?
I'm going to have to go shopping for you, so just like give me some rough ideas. I will be back.
Just boots, jeans, a shirt, whatever.
Boots, jeans, a shirt, whatever. I will be right back. And Alex leaves, and you're left here with the TV. Did you watch TV? Like, what?
Yeah, I think it was.
It's 1990.
Yeah,
I think canonically.
it is. MTV was on the whole night. That's it.
Man.
90s. There's probably some throwbacks. Just leave MTV on the entire day.
That's crazy because I was going to throw out there like I can see Val watching MTV. That's whoa. That's so weird.
You're right. Because I was thinking in the 90s, it was still just music. It wasn't like TV shows and stuff.
That's
yet.
correct. You got to watch all the VJs hosting actual music marathons of music videos.
Yep.
All of which, or most of which, you wouldn't have seen unless you watched TV when you were with Amy and Vincent. We haven't got into what Val's downtime looks like. Like, where are you at? Because you were living in the woods, no exposure to anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then on the road, running in a car, which might mean some radio, but I feel like that was such a survival point.
Yeah.
Like, where's the point? Has heavy metal hit yet? Or is it just an aesthetic? Because you had some time at the gym, so obviously there'd be some there.
I think the gym had a lot of crossover there with music playing in the gym and those specifics.
And
so
movies
there's a lot of
with
late 70s, early 80s rock and movies that she enjoyed. And I think there might have been an occasional dip in with the Insane People, but if they were playing music, it was probably on an organ with human skin on it or something.
They made their own music.
Yeah.
And also your stint as a wrestler, I'm sure huge crossover with like rock and metal and stuff like that as well. Just that kind of crowd, that kind of audience. I think the music would probably come from
100%.
that as well.
So I think that's something she liked prior to that, but she was just running away from real life human things. So getting to watch this, I'm sure there's random ones she knows from 5+ years ago, but then she is not caught up on culture from the end of the 80s to the 90s.
5 years of music culture being downloaded directly while in hospital, which ultimately is what any good hospital visit should be for. I'm going to recover and I'm going to learn cool shit.
Yes.
So you have that experience. All right. I need that D6 from you. Or here's a question. Do you have a coin?
I don't think I
Do you want to go get a coin?
I'll go get a coin.
Yeah.
You can coin flip it. Get a Canadian coin. I don't know how to flip a coin. Don't usually.
You do this, and you sit the coin on this space here. And do you feel like the tension of your thumb underneath your index finger?
Uh-huh.
And if you were to give yourself a thumbs up, like the tension would go and it would flick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you would. Yeah, you did it.
That?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do it.
Good job.
All right, I'll try.
Okay, Val, you are not present for this as it happens, but Alex Sanders, he has a challenging Malkavian style problem, which is he struggles with decisions. So he flips coins to decide things. So he is out clothes shopping for you, which means we need to go down his decision tree
Oh my God.
and see what you end up with.
Val's not going to like other vampires real quick here.
So the first thing as he's going through a shoe store is trying to figure out what kind of boots he should bring you. So his first question that he's really struggling with is, should they have a heel or should they be flat? Mm-hmm. Flip me a coin. What do you want to call it?
I want to call tails.
Okay, so tails is going to be the more Val answer to any of these questions. Okay, heel or flat? Flat's the Val.
Oh God.
Tails, flat. Let's see. That is tails. All right.
We got boots.
We got a flat boot. Oh, we're not done. You said you didn't know how to flip a coin, but Alex does. And by the end of this, so will you.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I need to know if these are knee-high boots or if these are cowboy boots.
Oh, great. Well, tails will be cowboy.
Cowboy,
boots.
yep.
It's a bear again.
All right. You have flat cowboy-style boots. So you got those. Now, he's moving to the next store. She really didn't give me much to go with. He's trying to figure out if they should be skinny or baggy jeans.
Either of those is probably not what she wants. Like, you're going to buy me boots and not get me bootcut jeans? What's wrong with you? but it's fine.
But he just wants to know fit style. So,
Yes.
okay. All right. What do you got?
This one is bear again. Oh, no. We're getting into
All right.
tails.
Baggy jeans.
Yeah.
All right. Then the question is going to be, are they blue or are they black? Alex cannot make decisions
All right.
without flipping this coin.
Okay, then I guess black will be tails again.
All right.
You.
Anyone who's listening to the podcast, check out the video
Yeah,
where Del
it's
flipping
fantastic.
coins.
No,
It's
I
good.
can't do it.
It's so good.
I've never learned to do
No,
this.
you're getting it.
You're
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a heads.
All
Blue
right,
jeans.
blue jeans. Now he's going over to the t-shirt store.
Lord.
Oh, you think he's done? He's like, oh, he doesn't know whether Val is a like tight t-shirt person because she's kind of jacked up, or if she's like if she's looking for that like more like loose like
That's
like,
very 90s.
kind of fit. I know
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
a tough,
yeah.
it's a
90s
tough
fit.
question. So,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
which one feels like the Val one?
The more tight, I think, is the
Okay,
Val one.
tight as Val.
So tight as tails. That's heads. Oh,
Okay,
she's gonna look so 90s. It's
kind of
gonna
a
be great.
loose fit shirt. I
Nice.
love that.
Baggy
Very
jeans.
nice.
And then he's trying to figure out as he looks at it, he's like,
baggy Jinko jeans.
Yeah.
The baggiest.
black with a skull on it, pink with a unicorn on it.
Can I throw in a 90s? Well, I mean, pink with unicorn on it is a pretty good punishment for like flipping wrong, but can I throw in just a very 90s big t-shirt that
Try
I
me out.
remember? Bugs Bunny and like Taz wearing like backwards
Yeah,
hats and
that
like
was
super
huge.
baggy clothes.
Okay,
Dressing like crisscross, I think, basically is how they were dressing.
I think you get. I'm aware that this is supposed to be 1990, so this is probably later, but I'm going to say Bugs Bunny and Taz on the black shirt,
Right.
Okay.
Lola Bunny on the
Yes.
pink shirt.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. All right.
So either way, it's a cool 90s image.
It's over there for you, Tyler. What do we got?
You got heads.
We got a pink
Lola
shirt.
Bunny it is. All right. And the last question, as he comes out of here, he's realizing that you need some kind of accessory. Something that because you'd said boots, jeans, shirt, whatever.
It's true.
So we're hitting the whatever. Del, what is a 90s whatever accessory that Val would like?
Like the leather arm wraps, like those like bunch of bracelets.
Nice. Yep.
Great.
No.
Tyler, what's another 90s accessory that Val might not like?
The first thing that came to mind, like it would not be feasible with Val's hair. I was gonna say like a scrunchie. But how about the hat from Blossom? You know what I'm talking about? That it's
Floppy
like
semi-beret
the Paddington
hat?
Bear like rain hat, but it's like made of denim and it's got a rose like made of the denim like
I'm in a time
stitched
warp.
into
I'm
it.
going into a time
You know what
warp.
I'm talking about?
Okay, yep, that's what we're rolling
Okay.
for the accessory. Let's see. Blossom's hat or cool leather wraps.
It's a bear.
Blossom. Oh no, that's cool leather wraps. You're good.
That's the win.
For those of you not familiar with Canadian currency, we are flipping the Canadian toonie. That's the $2 coin. Tails is a picture of a polar bear on it, and heads is the picture of the Queen or King Charles if you get new toonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a head. So that one's still
That's-
standard.
yeah,
but our
heads are
tails
heads.
get weird.
Tails are, yeah. So when you hear it's a bear, that's why it's
Which
tails.
also, admittedly, I'm Canadian and I struggled with it. So
Yeah.
good. Thank you for the explanation.
Good. Oh, good.
So about a half hour later, Alex reappears from the local mall and he gives you an outfit that consists of flat, very like thin-heeled cowboy boots, baggy blue jeans, and a loose pink t-shirt with Lola Bunny on the front of it looking sassy, and you have cool leather wraps and bracelets for your arms. He sets on the bed for you and says, there you go. You left me a lot of options. Not my favorite.
Knowing him, that's so funny. That's such a fucking thing of like, you really fucked me on this. You put me in a really difficult position. This is hard for me. That's so funny.
Pal does not know what to make of any of this. Like, why? This man just asked her if she wanted clothes, and now he's back and he's mad about it.
He's not mad. He looks stressed.
I'll look at him. Thanks. All right, I'll get changed. And she's pulling IVs out of her arm to get up.
Which does not faze him. And I think that's the first time you're realizing, like, oh, okay, there's something vampire here. This isn't just a stressed mortal human that you're seeing. He doesn't care about blood. He doesn't care about IVs coming out. And he's like, all right, I'll meet you outside.
Outside.
I mean, the room. It's fine.
Okay, go.
Flips a coin. All right, I'll just sit here and stare at the door, I guess. You get dressed. He sits down and stares at the door after he flips a coin.
What the fuck is happening? But fine. Val's not shy about this stuff. She will just...
He's looking away.
Yeah, she's just going to get in the clothes. I don't think she has any undergarments. She's been in hospital garb. Everything got stabbed.
She didn't ask for it?
No, she didn't. We are just,
commandoing
it.
Yeah.
Commando jeans, yeah.
Commando jeans, commando top. We're just going with it.
Yeah.
So she will put it all on and, all right, where are we going?
Stands up and just goes, you look great. Okay, come with me. And he walks you out to the parking lot where there is kind of a large black SUV with deeply tinted windows. And he said, up front or in back, wherever you want to ride.
Val will just walk up to the front and get in then.
Great. He'll get into the driver's seat and he goes, all right, we're going to the Blue Rose Hotel, home of the Camarilla in town. I'm sure you're aware of that because apparently, actually, I don't know anything about you, but you're important. So off we go.
Let's go. And she's just looking out the windows, trying to take in everything that's going on.
And he's driving you downtown. So you get brought downtown. You get brought to the Blue Rose Hotel that you recognize from where you stayed very, very recently. And he walks you in past the front door. The thing you're noticing now that you're paying more attention, you aren't as desperate at the very end of the day trying to get out of the sun is, this place is built as though it was formerly like a bank or a biker hideout.
Okay.
There's one door. The moment you go in the door, there's a beautiful mural on a giant wall that you have to walk around to go in. And this didn't stand out. It just felt like, oh, they've got a really big painting,
Nice
so they're showing this off.
hotel,
Instead of realizing, like, you can't just drive a car through this front door. You're hitting a brick wall instantly the moment you're inside. And you're spotting a number of people that seem to be generic kind of hanging out types, but they've got the vibe that you and Vincent had learned to spot for, like, okay, this mortal will let Amy talk to first. If we don't want to make a scene. Like, there are a couple of heavies that all blend in that roll me I want to see how much of this you spot. Roll me a wits and awareness or a wits and larceny. Or I would accept wits and streetwise.
Oh, great. How hungry am I?
You are, you'll have 1 point of hunger because you got
bagged blood.
They've been pumping you full of bagged blood all night and the day before and the night before that.
Great. Wits and, did you say streetwise?
Yes.
I think that's
I gave you an option, but streetwise is
I
a
like
good one.
streetwise. 2 successes.
2 successes. You're spotting a few that are standing around clearly dressed as valets, only they seem not to be helping anyone with anything. But more interestingly, you're spotting 2 different people that you recognize from your previous visit who are sitting reading newspapers or doing other things. That makes it seem like they've got bags next to them. They must be checking in or checking out. Only you're realizing that, there are a couple of standard fixtures in this lobby that are just checking in every day, all day. You're not sure how many, but it seems like that's there. You get brought back into the kind of past the foyer, down a hallway, into the kitchen, to an elevator. When you get on the elevator, there's a large vampire, very vampire looking, clearly hidden here, like monstrous features, sharp pointed ears, to kind of thing that you'd only seen in terms of art being made, in terms of making art look like this kind of vampire in a full tuxedo.
Whoa. Yeah, that's eye-opening.
Just towering over you and Alex. Floor. We're going to the penthouse. Penthouse. Pushes the button. There's a ding, and the elevator moves all the way up the building. You do have this awkward 60 seconds with music playing. There is this large vampire in a tuxedo looking different than you'd ever expected. Is there anything you would do, say, think? What is this like? This is such the opposite of let's go into a motel full of corpses.
Oh my gosh, yeah. All of it feels out of body experience. And even with that other big vampire there, she's feeling so out of her depth with this and knows she's not good at talking to people that she's going to turn to Alex and any advice for talking to the princess.
Don't lie. She hates when people lie. Hates it.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. Should I trust you? Can you flip a coin for me?
Which one's the good one? What do we
Tails
call
is always in your favor.
Eat it,
Can
Tyler.
you throw a coin for me?
Just for that, it's heads.
Good luck. That's all. I probably said too much already. He can't tell you more.
Okay. Trying to just pull herself together. This is so out of her depth. And then even feeling like Rufus Cross, who is a total badass, was like, this is going to be shitty. So it's just like trying to brace herself for whatever's coming next.
Yep. And when you get to the penthouse, there is a ding and the elevator doors open. You find yourself looking at another wall with a large painting on it. Only this time you are seeing this painting itself is, it shows the oceans. It shows travel from continent to continent. It shows wars in the past, the present, theoretically in the future. There is so much going on in this massive mural. And on either side of it are two, now we're talking classic vampires. Mm-hmm. Patrician features, slick-backed hair. They are dressed in full paramilitary garb. You're seeing vests. You are seeing M16s. Like, they look like all black-clad soldier-style vampire warriors. On each of their backs, you are seeing a battle axe is slung. Whoa. So clearly ready to throw down with, if something big wants to come in, they're still ready for that too. Can you roll me a wits and awareness?
Yes.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
2 successes.
2 successes. You see that they are there. You see that they have those weapons. You see that those weapons are gleaming and shining in the amount that they are being taken care of. This is clearly a show of force, not for you, but in general. Mm-hmm. The thing you are noticing is they are pros and they are not sloppy in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. It's all in place, but you're betting they're very, very good at what they do. You make your way past them, around the wall of the painting. Alex is left behind. He's like, good luck. The elevator dings, it goes back down. And you find yourself brought into a massive sitting room. Tyler, what are 3 things from the 90s or earlier that you think would be in a kind of modern, like, royal apartment? Late 80s, early 90s.
I think a water feature. If this is like status, I think this is like a custom indoor water feature. So it's going to be like, it's going to have a built-in like sitting area with like a little, almost like a bistro table. Like you could have like your coffee there and tea and like chat with a guest or something like that. So it's got seating sort of built into like the outer like wall, I guess, or like sort of like built in like bench of the fountain, and then it's like tiered up a couple levels of just like flowing water. Just the very tranquil sound of just like the trickling, flowing water. Not like that sort of like intrusive sound that would be like annoying or grating or anything like that. Like this is just like the slightest hint of a trickle as like the water flows like flawlessly, like just like looking like blown tubes of glass. Like the water's tension is like unbroken. It's been so meticulously engineered to carry this water around this feature. And I don't think it's going to be so narcissistic to be like portraying Cleopatra.
No.
But I do think it will be some like mythical creatures, like nymphs and things like that, with some Egyptian influence as well, of like some Egyptian gods and things like that, like by the water, and how like proximity to like the Nile and the water was so important to like Egyptian culture. There, some of that is there as well.
Yeah, no, that checks out to me absolutely. So that's what you're seeing to your left. They're big balcony windows that open up onto a balcony that overlooks the city. Inside is this fountain. The thing that, for anybody deep cut vampiring at home, I don't know if Val would be aware of this. No, because they didn't tell you anything about the universe. It's all actually fictional creatures throughout history. So all the human myths that aren't true across a variety of cultures there. There are no vampires, there are no fae, there are no werewolves, there are no ghosts. It's like the weird stuff. There's satyrs.
And there are kelpies in there.
Yeah, the Greco-Roman gods and like all that kind of stuff. All the things, including a lot of the Egyptian gods and things that had appeared one of Cleopatra's subtle and internal reminders that like there are monsters that are real and there are monsters that are not.
Yeah.
So you can play off of both.
And these are not like sculptured statues. These are like relief carving kind of into like each tier showing a pantheon and things like that. Yeah.
Yep. And you would come to learn over time that Cleopatra uses this water feature because if she speaks under a whisper, even if the apartment is bugged, no one can make out what's being said. So it's just a quiet conversation point for a very canny ruler. Number two, something I think maybe a little bit more modern as we're pushing into the 90s. I think it's just going to be a fucking like rad stereo system. I just like, but like because it's like 89 into 90, it's fucking huge. Like that's sophisticated. It's the Back to the Future style speaker setup on one wall.
Yeah, just a huge state-of-the-art stereo system, record player, CD player, which I don't know if Val's ever seen a CD player yet. Like tape, 8-track, like it basically just has like all of the things, and it's probably been customized to play like gramophone cylinders as well for any of Cleopatra's like classic collection, anything like that, from like music boxes and things like that. It's clearly been set up to convert like prongs hitting those little chips and divots in the cylinder to translate into electrical sound out of the speakers now as well. Yeah. And number three, let's do something kind of like right in the middle. I think just a beautiful assortment of antiques across generations and eras and different places in the world. So like a Ming vase and like a Fabergé egg. And beautiful, like a Russian nesting doll and things like that, like varying degrees of what a layperson would associate like value with, but clearly all originals. And some are in like glass display cases on pillars, and some are sizable enough that they just stand freely on their own and things like that. Yeah.
And among these, you are seeing certain items that seem to have no historical value. They don't seem terribly rich. They don't seem terribly anything. It's just like, oh, a handgun. And then can you roll me wits and awareness? I want to see how much of this, it's not a question of you not being able to see it. It's a question of how much of this can you take in with what's at the end of the room.
Not too much, just one success.
One success. You don't manage to take in any additional information about the kind of stereo set, the music or anything like that. Along the wall, you do realize as you're glancing that in the gun, like behind the gun in the same glass display case, there's a photo of Cleopatra who you see at the end of the room, this woman and Elvis. There's a photo of
That's awesome.
this woman and the American president. There's a photo of this woman and Rick James. It's clear that she's met people. And some of these photos you're realizing take place in this room.
Okay.
With different decorations, with different things. It seems like Cleopatra is interested in meeting important or fascinating humans.
Yeah.
That is what you pick up about her character as you move through this elaborately decorated space and come to the end of the room where you find a raised platform, 4 steps up, not an obscene amount of height, but just slightly raised. This could be a space that's large enough to be a private concert stage. Not in a huge sense, but in like you could put 3 or 4 musicians here in a small space and have them play an acoustic set in this room. In the center of this raised platform is a simple wooden chair, carved beautifully, well crafted, but not terribly ornate, with red padding, just a deep crimson leather that looks comfortable and in place. This is a chair that if you set a number of them up around a dining table, you'd be like, oh, fancy-ish house.
Yeah.
But it doesn't strike you as being kind of too obscenely or overly decorated in that regard. Standing next to it is Rufus Cross. He's dressed exactly the same. Somehow his style seems to blend with this like high fashion modernity as much as it does on the street for people also engaging in the New Haven adventures. Everett always stands out because it looks like he's a black and white movie made color in a world that doesn't quite blend in. Mm-hmm. For Rufus, there's enough of a touch of the present that he just becomes kind of part of this pastiche of strangeness that is Calgary and honestly is 90s fashion.
I was going to say, 90, great time to have the fedora back kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He can make that work in the 90s in a way that hits a little different in 2024.
That is so true.
Yeah.
But seated on this central chair is a figure that you assume must be the princess based on the photos you've seen.
Yes.
Because she is not dressed like a princess. You are seeing an olive-skinned, kind of average-looking woman. There's like, if you were to look at a photo of her, she wouldn't stand out. You wouldn't think of her as one of the beauties of the ages with the way that her bones are structured, according to like modern day supermodel and celebrity terms. But when you look at her, there is just something so striking about her. It's this combination of features, this charisma, this aura about her, that there is just something that draws you in. And she is sitting in jeans and a t-shirt. Just a casual t-shirt with a faded AC/DC logo on it. Her hair pulled back in
Am I
a
in love with
basic
this lady?
her hair pulled back in a basic ponytail. She is wearing no makeup. She is not even wearing shoes. She is just sitting comfortably in this chair looking at you with striking eyes. Again, photograph, see her walk by on the street. She's not somebody that would necessarily stand out, but just the way she moves and sits, and there's something about her that's just like, this is a very like attractive, like magnetic person.
Yeah.
And Rufus stands next to her and says, all right, so the princess wants to hear you tell her about the kind of person you are, your history, the kind of vampire you hope to be, and what you think you can bring to the Camarilla, and particularly to Calgary. She will not be speaking. She just wants to hear you.
Okay, I'm Val Miller. I grew up in Washington State. And I was taught how to fight monsters. I made my way up here. I've worked really hard as a human, and I want to be able to help fight monsters and stop bad things from happening to people. Riser flicking back to Rufus Cross and then back to Cleopatra again.
Cross is stock still, just looking out into the distance because this is Cleopatra's ball game. Do you, Val, and I'm asking this as like a peeling back the layers on the performance because that is important to figuring out what die rolls may need to be made in this moment. Do you feel like that is your whole story?
She is hiding the stuff about having known Rufus Cross. So I think she's skimming over those specific things because obviously she knew him when she was immortal. So it really isn't the whole story, but it is the thing she's feeling right now, for sure.
Can you roll me a charisma and subterfuge?
Fuck. Okay, it's 2 dice. We're going in. Nothing. No successes. I'm not charismatic.
Cleopatra stares at you, her eyes remaining the same, her not moving. Can you roll me a wits and a wits and insight? You're not actually going to be able to see anything on her, so I can't justify her perception. She's too experienced.
Nothing.
Oh boy.
You said what you said. She has not responded. Do you leave? Or do you say something else? You have no fucking clue what this lady wants.
Yeah, no clue at all. I'm trying to remember what Rufus said to do. We're standing in front of this lady for a while. Okay. I don't know what life like this as a vampire is supposed to be, but I'd like to learn from people who do it right. That's it. I'm just going to stand there.
And there is a silent 5 minutes where you stand there saying nothing. And Rufus says, you may go. Wait in the elevator.
Fel will nod and walk out. Because in her mind, it's like she doesn't know well enough to spin any sort of tale. So it's lies of omission, but she does not want to actually lie about anything. Like she wasn't going to keep talking and making up anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like the presence of this whole room, that lady, the amount of money that is here on display, and the guards and everything. It's like, if they end up deciding to kill me, Val's like, there's nothing I can do about that, especially in the state that she's in right now. So she turns around and walks out back to the elevator.
And you turn around and walk out, and you make your way around the painting, and you see the elevator door is open, and the extra large vampire in the tuxedo is waiting inside. And as you step into the elevator, they press the door close button, and it closes, and they hit the stop button. So the elevator is just sitting here with the door closed. And they say, "Stop."
So we're just waiting.
Wait.
Okay. Val is looking at her bracelets and fiddling with them at this point while we are sitting in an elevator.
And you just end
Do
up...
I die or not?
You end up waiting for several minutes until there is a ding from outside the elevator, and with a pull of a lever, the doors open and Rufus Cross appears and steps inside. Can you roll me a wits and awareness? Mm-hmm. Some of this you're going to see. I just want to know how much you're going to see.
1 success. Val is very rattled.
1 success. You are going to see the two obvious things. Rufus Cross is missing his pinky finger on his left hand and his left eye. Both of which the blood flow has stopped, but they have clearly been removed. There is not the remains of an eye in a socket. You're aware of this from art purposes, that it was expertly gouged completely out, and his finger has been severed clearly at the knuckle. And he just says, "I vouched for you. Welcome to the Camarilla." And the elevator doors close.
This episode of Canada by Night features the voices of Tyler Hewitt and Del Borovic, alongside storyteller Ryan LaPlante. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra. Canada by Night's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC.com. And our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Cheaps by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. Canada by Night is a spin-off of the Dum Dums and Dice series Blood and Syrup. If you want to hear about what happened to Everett before he came to New Haven, look for Blood and Syrup anywhere podcasts can be found. For all things Dum Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Sleep well, my kindred. Sleep well in this world of darkness.
Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Alarain Okapi, Madre de Gatos, Mithrian, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Amira Lockhart, James Molina, Nick Hemsing, Alex LaFountain, Mickey Blake, Seth Cambron, Corpse Knight Silver, Adamir 101, The Dankler, Anticore 7, Lady Destiny Stormbringer, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.